three Irem oddballs walk into a switch. One's a yellow helicopter that mines crystals to buy bigger guns. One's a witch on a broom who boomerangs the sky in co-op. One's a metal album cover where your dragon tail literally body blocks bullets. The pitch for Irem Collection Volume 3 writes itself. What nobody agrees on is which game you're actually buying it for. Some reviewers say it's Mr. Heli's party and the others are snacks. That makes sense. This quirky 1987 shmup hasn't been easily playable in ages, and it's still a weird, wonderful outlier. Levels don't just scroll, they meander. You tunnel, you shop, you treat upgrades like a checklist before the next boss tantrum. The pacing is exploratory, almost platformer adjacent, with mini-boss gates and detours that feel more spelunking than lane discipline. And the collection doesn't just toss in the arcade ROM and call it a day. You get both regional arcade cuts and the PC Engine port, which softens the difficulty curve and proves yet again that late 80s Irem and NEC were secret besties. Then there's the counterpunch. Dragon Breed walks in and steals the show. If R-Type is the stern teacher, Dragon Breed is the cool substitute with tattoos. It flips the usual shmup anxiety, my hitbox is a soap bubble, by giving you a massive, invulnerable dragon body to park between your squishy rider and incoming pain. Curl the tail to shield, lash it to delete bullets, swap power-ups to spit lightning curtains or column fire. It's immediate, tactile, and weirdly modern, the kind of mechanic you can explain in 5 words. The dragon is the shield, and then spend hours mastering. The art direction. Imagine Giger met Moebius at a scrapyard and they painted the apocalypse together. It rules. Mystic Riders rounds out the trio with Sugar Rush fantasy energy and local co-op. It's the friendliest on-ramp. Bright stages, chunky bosses, and the deliciously goofy broom boomerang that doubles as crowd control. It also has the most emulation reminder moments when explosions and particles dogpile the screen. The collection's rewind and rapid fire ease the sting, but you'll still feel the frame wobble when you fully juice the spectacle. That said, couch co-op plus accessibility toggles equals a Saturday afternoon well spent. So where does veteran game plant the flag? Here's the working theory. Volume 3 is an anthology with 3 very different virtues: preservation, personality, and pure design. Preservation is Mr. Heli. Yes, it's tough. Yes, the hitbox feels generous in the "are you serious" way, and the late-game corridors are designed by someone who hates your thumbs. But the core loop probe, mine, buy, push, still slaps once you calibrate to its rhythm. With the modern assists, that once cruel difficulty becomes a puzzle box you can actually solve. Include the PC Engine version and regional arcade variants, and it finally feels like a proper historical package rather than a ROM dump with vibes. Personality is Mystic Riders. It's the cheeriest thing Irem shipped from the era, like Fantasy Zone wandered into a witch anime. The broom toss isn't just flair, it's practical space control. Charge shots, dodge rolls, and 2-player hijinks keep the tempo bubbly even when you're face planting into a turtle the size of a minivan. It's not as mechanically singular as the other two, but it's a tone palette cleanser with loud, lovable sprites. Pure design is Dragon Breed. The dragon as shield inversion is one of those ideas that makes you question why everyone else didn't steal it immediately. Positioning becomes a chess match against bullet path patterns, and your offensive choice, lightning, homing, flame, dictates geometry, not just damage. Even decades later, it feels novel, coherent, and mean in that fair arcade way. Deaths make sense, reruns get cleaner, mastery is visible. Let's zoom out on the package. Price is $24.99. Platforms: Switch, PlayStation, Xbox, PC. You get rewind, save states, difficulty options, filters for CRT sickness, quick toggles for rapid fire, and leaderboards for the score goblins. Extras are otherwise sparse, no lavish art books or museum tours, which stings a bit for a series with such strong visual identities. But the baseline emulation is solid across the board, with the caveat that Mystic Riders can wheeze during explosive pile-ups. On balance, it's a practical, player-first set of tools, wrapped around 3 very different time capsules. Now about the shouting match over Mr. Heli. One camp calls it the star, another calls it a relic. Both are right. If you want arcade immediacy, its exploratory pacing will feel fussy. If you're here for texture, routes to learn, storefront stops mid-mission, bosses that demand a kit check, it's catnip. The PC Engine port helps the medicine go down, easing the punishment without neutering the identity. And again, with Rewind, this stops being a museum piece and becomes an approachable challenge that still respects your time. Meanwhile, Dragon Breed isn't a museum piece at all, it's a straight-up recommendation. Put it in front of a modern player who likes shooters and watch the aha moment when they realize they can park a dragon tail over their rider like a riot shield. That's timeless design, not nostalgia. Mystic Riders, it's the hangout game. It may not top anyone's tier list, but when the evening needs something colorful, learnable, and chaotic in co-op, it's the easy pick. The broom gimmick gives it just enough personality to avoid nice but generic, and the QOL lets you tailor the paint. So here's the verdict you came for. If you're a preservation brain or a Mr. Heli lifer, this is already an auto-buy. If you chase clever mechanics, Dragon Breed justifies the ticket by itself. If you're co-op curious, Mystic Riders is the mint on the pillow. Taken together, $24.99 for a cleaned-up slice of Irem's Stranger Side is a good trade, especially with modern assists smoothing the rougher 80s edges. It's not the most bonus-rich compilation, but it's curated with play in mind, and the play holds up. If this style of no BS retro autopsy keeps your backlog honest, hitch a ride with Veteran Game and hit subscribe. We make the weird old stuff make sense, then argue about it anyway. Final debate prompt, crown a winner. Are you team preservation, team mechanics, or team co-op chaos? And be honest, are you using Rewind or are you raw dogging late 80s arcade cruelty like a legend?